Greetings. For those just joining the conversation or new to my channel, I'm documenting my journey. I'm trying to wean my 2.5-year-old daughter off breastfeeding as gradually and gently as possible. Well, at this point, as quickly as possible, because most of me is done and wants my body back, but there is definitely still some sadness and some grief that comes up when I really think about her not breastfeeding anymore, and also just knowing that she's not ready, it's me who's ready, and this is all she's known. So thinking about, how weird this whole process must be for her, it's quite difficult for me. But yeah, for those just joining, I think this is day 2. The past few days have kind of all just blurred into one, to be honest. So I'm just giving a quick update, and I will start. What was the last thing that I was speaking about? So the last video I made was after I put her to bed, and that took like 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours last night. I was trying to comfort a screaming 2.5-year-old child. Sorry, I'm so tired. I'm struggling to get my words out, but I do want to keep these updates in real time because stuff like this doesn't stay in my brain, or if it tries, I just don't have the capacity to keep it there. So she eventually went to sleep, and she didn't come into my room until 4:30 in the morning, around about. And I tried to not feed her. I wanted to try to not feed her until 6 a.m. So I did my usual thing, telling her that Boobie's gone to bed, and we're gonna have milk when the sun is shining. I mean, it was kind of light, but anyway. But she wasn't having any of it. She just started like flailing around and screaming and crying and clawing at my chest, and I just didn't feel capable to fight it, so I gave in pretty quickly. And I just gave her some breast milk and just a couple of minutes on each side, and took it out. First time I tried taking it out, she was just trying to go to the other side, and I was saying, that's enough milk for now, we'll have some more when the sun comes up, or in the morning when we wake up. Again, wasn't having it, so did another couple of minutes on each side. And I think I ended up falling asleep with my boob in her mouth again, which is the thing that I really want to stop doing. And then I woke up later on, I don't know what time it was, but significantly later, at least an hour, and tried taking my boob out of her mouth. And then she tried going to the other side, and I said, no, we've just had so much boobie. Mummy needs a rest, and we'll have more when we wake up. Again, not having it. That just kind of kept going pretty much up until we woke up. I think I maybe managed to get like another 45 minutes of sleep without her trying to feed. And then we eventually got out of bed woke up at about 8:30, woke up properly at about 8:30, and then got out of bed around 9. And then she didn't have any after getting out of bed. And today was the first time trying to put her down for her nap without any milk. And that took, again, about an hour and a half, and didn't actually go to sleep. I tried to feed her while sitting up, just a few minutes on each side, because I realised I don't think I want to try and put her to bed without any breast milk in her system at all. I decided to add in another step of feeding her just before laying down, or feeding her while sitting up and then putting her down, so that she's getting used to not fallen asleep without my boob in her mouth, but she's still having some breast milk before she lies down. That's what feels best for us at this point. So that's what I tried doing, and she was exhausted, so she was falling asleep while she was feeding. But then again, I was just doing a few minutes on each side, or until she was dry feeding, before taking my boob out of her mouth. And then when I took her off the second side and tried putting her down, she was like, "Mum, what are you doing? Get that boob back in my mouth now." So there was the usual fight, and I didn't give her any more. She was just kind of like rolling around. She wasn't crying. She cried for maybe like a couple of minutes, and then she was fine. She was just kind of like rolling around, putting her head and everything under the covers. And I thought at one point she'd gone to sleep, like she was just really still for probably about 10 minutes. So I started to get up, and then she's like, "Where do you think you're going?" So yeah, I just laid with her, and she was like, just laying there, like, could barely keep her eyes open, like long blinking, really fighting her sleep. So I was just there with her, like rubbing her back and stroking her face, and tried singing to her at one point and picking her up and rocking her. But I don't know, I guess maybe it's more difficult because it's lighter when I'm trying to put her to bed. It didn't work, and she didn't nap. This recording is about to end, so this is the end of part 1 of the update, and I'm going to see why it's not giving me any storage after I just deleted loads of big files. So stay tuned for part 2.